Hello, I'm Anna Lowe, and I'm at an exciting point in my Fire Maidens series, so I thought I'd share what's new with you. That way, you get a behind-the-scenes look at new developments in the series. As you probably know, I started with 5 books in the series and a plan to write more, but I wanted to leave the last few open since I wasn't sure exactly which one would happen in which order. And once I finished book 4 and started on book 5, book 4 is Portugal and book 5 Ireland, I was ready to think ahead to the next 3 books in the series. Since I couldn't decide between so many great locations, I put it to my newsletter group in a poll. I gave them the 5 options I was thinking about: Amsterdam, Athens, Venice, Switzerland, and Scotland, and asked them to vote on their top 3 because I was intending to write 3 more books in the series. And not so much to my surprise, as you can see from the graphic, Scotland got an overwhelming majority of the votes. I think out of 500 people who voted, 411 had Scotland as one of their top 3 choices. It kind of surprised me that Athens came in a pretty clear second, and that Amsterdam lagged a little bit behind. But the biggest surprise was I had virtually a tie between Venice and Switzerland. And I had only intended to do 3 more books. So that would be, let's say, Scotland in first place, Athens in second, but then which one would I pick for third? And I decided, well, what the heck? I'll write all 4. And actually that works well because with the original 5 plus 4 more, that brings it to 9, which is perfect for making 3 box sets in the end. And as for Amsterdam, it's a pity not to write it now, but I figured I can always go back there for kind of a wrap-up story maybe, or a holiday story that brings together all the characters at the end of the book. At the end of the series. So I got in touch with wonderful Killion, who designs most of my covers, and asked her to use the same template that she already designed before for 4 more books, which is easy, right? You think you just put in a couple of new backgrounds and a couple new models and you've got it done. But actually, I counted to get 4 new final covers. We went through 21 different edits. So we started with Scotland, and that was one of the easiest ones because it was just beautiful right from the very beginning. I really liked the model. I liked the background. And the only small things I asked her to change is, here's the original. You can see he's got a black line. The model has a black line of underwear poking up a little bit above his jeans. I wasn't so excited about that. And then there was a full moon and the dragon a little bit under the moon. So now I'm going to show you the second version that she made. We still have the underwear sticking out in this version, but now you can see that we've got the quarter moon with the dragon over it. And if you look in the castle that's in the background, it's got a few of these little embers. She puts these great sparkly effects in, but it kind of looked to me like the castle was on fire, and that was not the intention. So here we go. Ready? I'm going to jump to the 3rd version, and here we go. So now you see no underwear sticking up, no fire on the castle, and we've got that dragon and the quarter moon above. So that was relatively easy. We did that in 3 quick steps. Athens was also quite easy. It just took, she had such a beautiful model, and the background is just stunning as it is, that it was just great. It kind of bugged me a little bit. On the left side behind his body, you can see part of the Acropolis there, which actually wouldn't really be there because the right side of the Acropolis with the Parthenon is that you see on the right side is correct, but what would actually appear on the left side is much lower. I'm a history buff, so it didn't look right to me. So I asked her just to take that little bit of landscape from the left side background out. So here we go, and that was essentially the only change to Fire Maidens Athens. Super easy. Venice, on the other hand, was a little harder. She came up with this beautiful design right from the beginning. I love the background and the kind of the reddish part about it, but the model looked much too young to me. And I had one other issue as well, which is I always think ahead to the layout of how the series is going to look in the end with all the covers laid out next to each other. So you need kind of a balance or a symmetry to them. So I kind of sketched them out. This is my lousy artwork. And I have Paris in the middle, and London and Rome on the left, and Portugal and Ireland on the right, fanning out on either side from there. And then I had to add the other covers to the outer wings, so to speak. But I wanted them to have that symmetry. So I needed 2 covers that would eventually go on the left side, and the models had to go on the left for those. And I needed 2 more covers that would eventually be on the right end of the fan, with the models on the right side of the covers. Which meant for Venice, I had to switch the guy. I'll go back to the original. Here the guy is on the right, but I needed him on the left, and I didn't really like that cover model because he looked too young. So I suggested a different cover model and asked him to flip the image. So here we go, we're going to flip, and we've got the new cover model. And this works better for the series layout overall, but I didn't like it so zoomed in on this model, even though I like the model. So I asked her to zoom out a little bit, and I will show you that now. And she's zoomed out, so we've got exactly the hero that I have in mind for the Venice story. We've got a nice crescent moon, because the moon progresses as you go through the series as well. The ones toward the middle have a full moon, and the ones out on the edges have a waning moon. You can also see in the O of Anna Low, we have a lion. Venice, the symbol is a winged lion, right? So I'll just leave it there as a little hint as to what our hero is going to be. But there you can see the finished cover of Venice, which I absolutely love. Then we went to Switzerland for the next cover to make, and that turned out, surprisingly, to be the hardest one to make, or the ones with the most number of changes. So first of all, we have the guy on the left, and I needed him on the right, so that was one change. But also, I wasn't excited about that background image. It is a beautiful little Swiss town, and it shows Switzerland in the winter, which I really wanted, but it didn't really give you a flavor of the Alps. And this story is definitely going to have dragons soaring over the highest peaks of the Alps in it. So I wanted to represent that. The cover model I didn't mind, but because he's got a shirt and none of the other models had a shirt, he didn't really match. So we also needed a new model, and we needed a new background. So I asked Kim to find a different model, and I picked out a different background, and this is what she came up with. So we've got him flipped, and we've got a nice, the Matterhorn, the pointy mountain in the background, there to me says Switzerland more. However, that background is not a wintry background. The part that you can see close to the guy's body is just a hillside, not covered in snow. And I didn't like this guy at all. Kind of a goofy haircut. Sorry, mister. And he just didn't fit my image of who that hero would be. So I asked him to go back to the original image of the village, but add the Matterhorn in. So it's not exactly a real picture, but it's amazing how she fit them all together. So I'm going to flip to that now. So now we've got the wintry village, and in the background we've got the Matterhorn. Looks great. And she used the third cover model that we tried, and he's a great cover model, but the way it works out, where the Fire Maidens Switzerland the title goes, it covers up basically the best part of his body, let's say, and the rest that isn't showing is kind of less interesting, so to speak. So for that reason, we had to go to yet a different cover model. So we had the background, and now we changed to a different model. Here we go. New model, nice abs. Always got to have that. Got to have my abs. And the last final change was to look at the moon, because this is going to be out on the right edge of the fanned covers. So I needed that to be a crescent moon. So she did one more change. And there we've got our beautiful cover with our great cover model, crescent moon, the Matterhorn, and the village in snow. So finally, we were done. We'd gone from the original 5 covers to the full series of 9, which looked great. It was a fun process, and it's pretty motivating too. After all, covers are just one part of the process. Now I have to actually write the rest of the series. but it helps to have the covers because I can visualize where I'm going next. Stay tuned as each of the next books comes out over the coming months. I hope you enjoyed this video and that you'll check out more on my channel and website, www.annalowbooks.com. Bye-bye for today.